Ladies and gentlemen, here we have a lecture on the harmful effects of tobacco.
Ladies and so to speak, gentlemen, it was suggested to my wife that I give a public lecture here for charity. Well, if I must, I must. It's all the same to me. I am not a professor and I have never been to the university, and yet, nevertheless, over the past 30 years, I have been running my health by constant unceasing examination of some matters of strictly scientific nature. Ah, I'm a man of intellectual curiosity, and if you can imagine, at times I write essays on scientific topics. Well, not exactly scientific, but if you will pardon me, approximately scientific. Just the other day, I finished writing an article on the harmful effects of insects. My daughters liked it immensely, especially the part about bed bugs. I read it, I read it, and then I tore it up. What difference does it make whether such things exist, such things are written, still have to use insect powder? We have bed bugs, even in our grand piano. Ah, what I was telling you is, I am here to give you a lecture on some important topic, and for that I have taken, so to speak, the harm done to the mankind by use of tobacco. I myself smoke, but my wife told me to lecture on the harmfulness of tobacco. I think all of you are not here to listen to my lecture, and it's about tobacco. So, what's to be done? Tobacco it is. It's all the same to me. But, kind ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to take my lecture with all due seriousness, or something awful may happen. If any of you are afraid of a dry scientific lecture, cannot stomach that sort of thing, you need not listen. You may leave. Are there any doctors here? If so, I insist that you listen to me very carefully, for my lecture will contain much useful information. Since tobacco, besides being harmful, contains some medical properties. For example, if you take a fly and put in the snuff box, it dies of exhaustion. Tobacco, strictly speaking, is a plant. Yes, I know. I was supposed to be giving a lecture. But then, you know, when I lecture, my right eye blinks. Actually, I'm a little nervous, but it started blinking years ago in 1889, to be precise, on September the 13th, the very day my wife gave birth to our fourth daughter, Barbara. All my daughters were born on the 13th. I think we are digressing from the topic. So the time at our disposal is limited. I must tell you, by the way, that my wife runs a boarding school. Well, not exactly a boarding school, but something in the nature of one. Just between us, my wife, she likes to complain about hard times, but she has put away good sum of money, 40 or 50,000 rubles. As for me, I haven't got a kopeck, not a penny, and well, what's the point in complaining? At that school, it is my duty to keep an eye on everything. I look at housekeeping, I look after the servants, keep the books, stitch together the old exercise books, exterminate bed bugs, take my wife's little dog for walks, catch mice. Last night, she told me to give flour and butter to the cook for today's breakfast. And today, we had pancakes for breakfast. Now, when the pancakes were ready, in comes my wife and says, three girls will not take pancakes because they've got swollen glands. So, we got a few pancakes extra. And what do we do with them? First, my wife says, keep them in the store. Then she changes her mind and she says, you eat them, you scarecrow. Scarecrow. Yeah, that's what she calls me when she is out of humor. And she is always out of humor. Scarecrow, devil, viper. What kind of devil am I? She is always in a bad mood. I didn't eat those pancakes. I just gulped them down. Last night, she hadn't given me any dinner. She says, what's the use of feeding you, you scarecrow? Sorry, I've digressed from my subject. Let us continue. Some of you, I'm sure, would rather hear a romantic play or a symphony or something. By the way, I should tell you that at my wife's school, apart from looking after the housekeeping, my duties include teaching mathematics, physics, chemistry, geography, history, vocal exercises, literature, and so on and so forth. For dancing and singing and drawing, my wife charges extra money. And of course, the singing and dusting master is our school is on Dog Alley number 30. I suppose we always have this problem because of 13. Even our house has got 13 windows. But what's the use? Anyway, appointments with my wife for the boarding school may be made anytime, and the school's prospectus may be had for 30 kopecks per prospectus. I have a few here. 30 kopecks? Anyone? 20? 20? No? What a shame. I knew. House number 13. I am a failure. I've grown old and stupid. Here I am, lecturing, and to all appearances enjoying myself. But I tell you, I have such an urge to scream at the top of my lungs, to run away to the end of this earth. There is no one to talk, and I want to be. What about your daughters, you would say, right? Well, what about them? I try to talk to my daughters, and they just laugh it away. My wife has 7 daughters. Sorry, 6. No, seven. Anna, the eldest, is 27, and the youngest one is 17. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm miserable. I've become a fool, a non-entity. But then, see before you the happiest of father. Why shouldn't I be? Who am I to say that I am not? If you only knew, I've lived with my wife for 33 years. Well, I can say they're the best years of my life. Not exactly the best years, but approximately the best. They have passed. Anyway, to hell with them. I don't think my wife has arrived as yet, right? She's not here. So, I can say what I want. I'm afraid, terribly afraid when she looks at me. Well, I was talking about my daughters. They are not married, probably because they are very shy, and also because men can never get to come close to them. My wife never invites anyone home. She's a stingy, ill tempered old lady, and that's why no one ever comes to us. But I can tell you, on Sundays, my daughters can be seen at their aunt's house, Aunt Natalia, the one who has rheumatism and always wears that orange colored dress with black spots like cockroaches. There she runs a home and you can eat. And if my wife happens not to be looking, then you will see me. Oh, I can't get drunk on just one glass. Then I feel so happy and at the same time so sad. It's unimaginable. I think of my youth and then somehow I long to run away, to clear out. Oh, if you only knew. Did you know everything about me? I want to run away without ever looking back. Where? Anywhere. So long as it is away from that vile, mean, cheap, idiotic wife of mine. To run away from the stupid, hot-headed, spiteful, my wife, who has given me 30 years of torment. To run away from the music, the kitchen, my wife's bookkeeping, letters, all those mundane, trivial affairs. To run away and then go very far away and stop somewhere on a hill and stand there like a tree, a pole, or a scarecrow under the great sky and the stars, and to forget, simply forget. Oh, how I long to forget, how I long to tear off this coat. I got this coat 30 years back at my wedding, and I'm still wearing it whenever I drive on it. Like it. I'm a poor, shabby, tattered wretch. I ask for nothing. I'm better than that. I was young once, and I went to the university. I had dreams. I thought of myself as a man. But now, I want nothing. Nothing. Nothing but peace and oh, oh, she's here. She's waiting in the wings for me. Oh, oh, I see. Our lecture time is over. If she asks you, I beg you, please tell her, the scarecrow husband, I mean, the lecturer, me, behaved with dignity. Oh, she's looking at me. So, ladies and gentlemen, given that tobacco contains a terrible poison, which I've had the pleasure of describing to you, smoking should be at all cost avoided. And permit me to add my hopes that these observations on the harmfulness of tobacco will have been of some profit to you. Thank you.